Welcome back, everybody, to episode 83 of A to Z Sports Talk. I'm your host, AJ Nance, along with my co host, Zach Harms, coming off an interview with Nick Luciani, which was a lot of fun. Sadly, the last two interviews here, Zach, and my schedule hasn't been able to fit, but how you been, Zach?
I've been good. It's been busy. We went back home for Easter, so that was a ton of fun. I guess that was 2 weekends ago, not this past week and the weekend after.
Yeah.
So that went by fast. But it's been good, busy. Finally have a little downtime, which is nice.
I'm sure. No, time is flying by so fast that we are 16 games into the MLB season already,
Yeah, it's
which
pretty crazy. I haven't really looked at any like stats, like overall MLB stats, because I always feel like I had to give it a couple, at least 10 or
yeah,
games, just because the stats are so skewed at first.
definitely.
So, and I was looking at like MLB homers, and I'm like, oh, Nolan Gorman has a lot. He's probably at the top. Yeah, no,
Mhm.
he's not, or he's
I
up
know
there, but
he
there's a
has
lot
like
of guys
half of
above
what
him.
Pete Alonso has. Pete Alonso's
Yeah,
been
it's
hitting bombs
crazy.
over there.
How
And
have
it's
you
funny you
been?
said that because I have four players in the MLB and then one team that I want to run by you today to see if a couple are on a hot streak and a couple are on
Hmm.
really cold streaks. And I want to see if they're like sustainable
Yeah.
or if they're going to come down to earth or get back to what they normally are. But I'm doing
Well, how have you
I'm
been?
doing I was going to say I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, good.
I'm in the last week of finally last week of college here and it's just
You're in finals week right
everything.
now?
I'm in finals next week, but I don't have any in person, so this is technically it.
Oh, dang,
But
I guess next week is the last week of April. Whoa.
it's wild. It's
Do you have
wild. But
any
no,
like what are you doing after you graduate?
I've applied to a couple coaching positions
Nice.
around the St. Louis area. I'm waiting to hear back. But hopefully able to hop on a staff somewhere, even as an assistant for
Hmm.
people local. Washington High School, Zach's former school, is hiring an assistant basketball coach, men's basketball, and
Oh, really?
I would love to be able to hop in there and do that. Or other schools in the St. Louis area, Parkway South for people that are familiar there. I applied there,
Mm.
um, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I am definitely ready to have an actual
Parkway
career
South
position.
has a very nice baseball field.
I actually
Pristine.
went there and I didn't realize how big the school is. The school is massive.
Hmm.
And coming from a small private school, that was almost like a big shock because it's like
Yeah.
almost as big as the university I'm at right now. But no, we have a loaded episode today. MLB, we have to kind of recap what's already happened, but
Hmm.
also, like I said, I have a couple slow starts and hot starts that I want to run by you because I'm interested to see what you say. NBA, we have game one recap and reactions from around the association. And then in the NHL, the playoffs actually begin tonight on a Monday. And we're going to give our predictions before the series all begin tonight. Did you see it? I didn't bring any today.
I did not.
Okay.
I've been
It's
so busy I haven't sent you guys anything.
I know. And the fact that, like I said off air, there's so much to discuss today.
Hmm.
Um, we have to hop right into it. So starting the MLB for our St. Louis fans out there, the Cardinals are 7-9 to start the year, and a much, much, much needed walk off win yesterday because
Very.
it was a rough patch there. We were 6-9 going into yesterday. Some injuries, guys have not performed. What have you thought so far?
I will say, being 7-9 right now, it doesn't feel like we should be 7-9. Watching some of the games, uh, been watching a lot more recently, and they've been playing good. So maybe if I watch, they play good. But our offense, is hitting the ball good. Like we have our team average is 274, which is
Mhm.
pretty dang good. It's fourth in Major League Baseball, but we've been terrible when hitting with runners in scoring position, like dreadful. Like we have our team statistics is 67 runs, and that's 22nd in the MLB, but our average is 274. Like that shouldn't be a a thing. Um, and obviously the big thing is our pitching's been kind of really bad at first, but I think some of the guys have started to settle down. Montgomery's had two good starts. He
Yes.
got robbed of his last start because we couldn't. We lost 5-0 to
Yeah.
Vince Velasquez.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't know. It's just I wish Mo would have addressed the big elephant in the room of we need a stud. Um, I know he's probably like, oh, Jack Flaherty's our stud, but I don't think he's going to be what he was back in the day. He does have an under 2 RA, but he walks like
He's walking
30
everybody.
people a game. And then,
Yeah. It's crazy because
yeah.
that we know that was the issue coming into the season was pitching. And like you said, Montgomery's been all around pretty solid. I think his ERA is
Hmm.
still under 3. And Flaherty somehow is getting out of these jams. He actually pitched really well in Colorado,
And he
probably his
pitches
best
tonight.
start. And he has a big start tonight against a red hot Diamondbacks team, actually, that
Yeah.
around the whole league, you're seeing these. I know it's a long marathon of a
Hmm.
season, but you're seeing teams like the Orioles and the Diamondbacks and the Pirates, these young teams. As much as I hate to say it, the Cubs, like these teams are winning,
Hmm.
and I think it's great. It's great to have some competitiveness, especially in the
Yeah,
NL
for
Central.
sure. I think for sure the new schedule thing's it's gonna be interesting to see how everyone's record. Like we're not gonna be able to rely on playing the Pirates like 12 times. I don't know how many times we actually played them. I guess we played them home twice then away twice. I really don't know.
That sounds right.
Um,
The other night they said something about how many times we play the Brewers, and I can't remember the number, but it wasn't even close to what it's been in the past. It felt
no, we
like
only play we only play the Pirates one more time away.
crazy.
Like the Cubs, we only play them once at home and once away, which I am
It's kind of
against.
a
And I guess
bummer.
this year I don't even know if we play them at home because we play them in London for 2 games. So I guess maybe we play two
Oh, that's
games
right.
here, only two home games against the Cubs, which that's the only thing I don't like about the new schedules. Like a Cubs Cardinals game is like the best on like a Sunday afternoon.
Definitely.
Um,
Yeah. You know what I've noticed around the league, not Cardinals wise. I mean, there's one or I guess two really on the Cardinals that have really shown, but the youth movement
mhm.
around the league. The Diamondbacks are in town this week for 3 starting tonight, and Corbin Carroll's a guy that we were kind of hyping up before the season started, and he is flying. In
He's
St.
very
Louis,
good.
Gorman's been hitting the cover off the ball,
Oh,
and honestly, Burleson's been hitting the ball really hard too.
yeah, he's hitting really good. He's in the 2 spot too, which
Mhm.
is kind of
He seems
funny.
like a perfect 2 hole now that I think about it. A lot
Yeah,
of
a big
contact.
contact guy. I want my thing is I know going into the season, Ollie's like our 3-4-5 is Goldie, Arenado, Contreras. I think you got to put Gorman up at number 5.
Yeah.
He's kind of showing he put a lot of work in the offseason. He's becoming that dude.
Hmm.
Like he
A
is
lot
smoking
more
it.
contact for him,
Hmm.
which was an issue in the past, even
Yeah,
in through the
strikeouts gone
minors.
down, his walks rate's gone up, and he just rips the crap out of the ball.
Jordan Walker has come down to earth a little bit.
Hmm.
We knew it was bound to happen. I hope he doesn't. I like that they're still starting him. I should say. I like that they're
Hmm.
still putting him out there every day and not just like making him sit. Since he's been struggling or sending him down and losing confidence. You want to know one guy I've lost complete confidence in, and I never had a lot of confidence in the first place.
Jordan Hicks.
Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks has gotten off to arguably the worst possible start you could possibly have
Yeah, let
to
me
the
let me pull
season.
up his stats for you real quick.
It's not good, man.
His ERA is 12.71. He's pitched 5 and 2/3 innings. He's given up 11 hits, 9 runs, 8 earned runs, and his WHIP is 3.35.
There was
Talk
there was
about
a
like a guy who like went from high A all the way to the majors, was amazing, and then I guess people just figured him out. And I still can't get over how he throws so hard and then he can never
he,
strike anyone
he
out.
doesn't
I
strike
don't
out anybody.
understand. Yeah.
He's gotten to the point now where his velocity's come down. I think he's trying to make an effort to locate more and take a little bit
Hmm.
off because he's sitting like 96, 98. But the thing that's catching my eye is all confidence is gone. Like
Hmm.
he threw 7 straight sliders to McCutcheon in the 10th inning the other day,
Yeah.
and the one he hung over the plate and McCutcheon destroyed it to end up winning the game. And it's like when you have 98 in your back pocket, that shows you don't have any confidence in either location or
Oh yeah.
movement. And his sinker always had crazy movement. That's what I don't
Yeah.
understand. Is because this year it's seems really just straight. Everything's hittable.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know what his deal is. I don't think I've watched a game where he's actually pitched in person. I don't think.
Yeah.
But I just every time I'll see like runs, I'm like, all right, who's pitching? It's always Hicks. Like when
Mm-hmm.
we lost to the Pirates when Montgomery pitched because it was 2-2 and then I saw they hit a home run. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! I looked and it was Hicks. I'm like, of
He's brought
course.
our whole bullpen down because all around our bullpen's been really good. Zach Thompson's
Yeah,
been filthy.
yeah, he's
Verhagen's
been
been
really good.
good.
Yeah,
Um,
Verhagen, your favorite
that's
player,
my
has actually
guy.
been
He's
decent.
coming through.
I'm just waiting for you to give him more praise
I know,
and you just
jinx it.
suck. But Gallegos has been amazing.
He has.
Uh,
Helsley's come around a little bit from that start. He had a
yeah,
rough start, but
Hennessy's he's only pitched 4 innings. I know he gave up 2 runs, but like his whip is 0.75. I know it's 4 games, but that's
mhm.
better. I feel like he used to
They were
walk a ton of people.
yeah, and they were actually both solo homers. Those were the 2 runs.
Okay,
So
yeah. I think it's just, and then you kind of look at all our
Galante.
starters who are all at the bottom of the ERA
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah, talking
Montgomery,
about
too.
the starters,
Yeah.
I think Matz is going to be better than what he's shown,
Hmm.
but he's still like if matches are 4 or 5, I feel pretty confident. Like Wainwright's going to help
Yeah.
calm things down,
Hmm.
but there's one guy we need to turn it around. And that's actually I'm going to kind of use that to transition into the 5 guys, 4 guys in one team that I want to ask you about. And that's Miles Michaelis, who I have an insane stat for you. And his, I guess, what is it, 4 starts now or three? Four
4.
starts. And his 4 starts, guys are batting 396 against him.
That's not
I mean,
good.
they're just hitting the cover. And he's got a whip over 2. He's 0-1 with an 8.10 ERA. And he's your number one coming out of spring. Um, how do you feel about Michaelis? Do you think this is what we're going to see? He's going to be better than this, but do you
I
think
think
he's
he's
one
gonna
of
be
this level?
better. I don't know because I felt like he pitched good in the World Baseball Classic too.
He did.
I don't know if that was against any of the good teams, but I think he'll get it down at least under 4. He's always been, I think, under 4 pitcher. His worst year was when he like before he came to us when he was with the Padres. He ate the lizard, didn't pitch that great, pitched in the
Mhm.
bullpen, then went over to I think Korea or Japan,
Yeah.
and then he came over to us and's been pretty solid. Like if he can just stay under 4, I'm fine with that. He's also getting kind of older, but I don't know. I hope he picks it up. And then we need Mats to pick it up. Like Mats honestly strikes out quite a bit of guys for he has the best strikeout per 9. I'm gonna say, yeah, just roughly looking at it. He has 17 strikeouts and 16 2/3. But he just I don't know what his deal is. It just seems like even when I play MLB the show with Steven Matz, I put him in, I'm like, so he gives up at least a hit a game.
Woodford's another guy that I guess his first 2 starts really struggled, and then this last one against Pittsburgh, it was like
Mhm.
6 scoreless. He kind of turned it around. How do you feel about moving guys from the? He's always been a starter coming up. A
Mm.
lot of these guys are. I mean, going through college and stuff like that. But how do you feel about a lot of these guys getting, starter runs? Because Woodford was elite out of the bullpen. Like I know that sounds crazy to say,
Yeah.
but when you look at the numbers, him and Tom were elite out of the bullpen. And now he's in a starter role. I see guys like Verhagen and Palante. I hear talk about them moving in the rotation. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I for sure don't want Verhagen in it.
Yeah, I agree.
Palante made starts last year and was solid. He's kind of been beaten up a little bit. He's given up 5 earned runs. His ERA is pretty high. I don't know. Woodford started some games last year and looked solid at the end of the year. I guess you just kind of have to just whoever just has the hot hand really and just
Yeah.
pitch him while we wait for Wayno, which we don't even know how good Wayno is going to be because he can't throw hard anymore.
Yeah, and he's
Um,
42 or 41.
yeah, but
When you have to rely on a
Wayno will have under a
41-year-old,
4 ERA. It's just
yeah, I
it's
agree.
Wayno. He'll get it done.
He'll find a way. My next guy for you is again, it's 4 starts into the season. Like you said, numbers are skewed. This guy's going to make 30 plus starts, but it's your guy, and he's struggled after a pretty hot start. It's Sandy Alcantara,
Hmm.
and he's had a couple really bad starts, and he's got a 5.84 ERA, a whip over one. And I don't know. Do you think this is more of a Sandy come back down to earth year, or do you think the innings are catching up to him? I know you and I love guys that pitch innings, but he's pitched a lot over these last couple of years.
I think he'll be fine. I think also maybe the pitch clock's kind of affecting some of these guys. Not like I know Michaelis works fast. I think Sandy works fast. It's just like sometimes if you give up a hit or something, you can take a little bit, just an extra second to like kind of take a breath and calm down. But with the pitch clock, you got 15, it's 15 seconds, right?
15. Mhm.
15 or 20 seconds every time. So I don't know. Maybe that has a little something to do with it.
I think the
I think he'll be
shift.
fine though.
I
I
think the
don't think
shift
if you
has a little
throw
bit.
like 200 plus innings and have like a 208 ERA, that's
Yeah.
a fluke. So
No, I
I think he's
agree.
still going to
I
be
agree.
good.
I think the shift, and one of these next guys, I
Oh
think
yeah,
a
the
shift
shift for sure.
the
Yeah.
shift really impacts one of these guys I'm going to bring up here in a second. But I think the shift has a huge say because a lot of these hits are getting through holes now that you didn't see in
Mhm.
past years. And I didn't think the shift was a big deal, the rule change, but it's really shown to be it. Um, this next guy I have for you is one of my guys that I'm a big fan of, Alek Manoah. Of the Toronto Blue Jays, a 6.98 ERA to start the year, a whip about two. And I've watched him start three. He started one against us, but I've watched three of his four. Yeah, three of his four starts,
Mhm.
and his velocity is way down to like 89 to 92, which he's usually 94 to 96.
Yeah.
Um, one of his starts, like we lit him up opening day, but
Oh
one
yeah,
of
we
his
destroyed
starts, he
him.
was missing all glove side. He was doing, remember Carlos Martinez would really just turn his whole body across the mound and it would always
Yeah.
be glove side. That's what Manoah was doing. And then I believe it was 2 days ago or maybe even yesterday against the Rays, everything was arm side. First pitch of the game hit Yandy Diaz in the middle of the back, and there was like you could tell there was no intent. It was just like it
Yeah.
wasn't even close. And I don't know if it's a mechanic thing or like they have a good rotation over there in Toronto.
Mhm.
Kikuchi, Gosman, Bassett, Manoa, but
But
they're gonna
hasn't Yakuchi not been that great?
he's
And
actually been
Bassett?
pretty Bassett's been bad.
Yeah.
Kikuchi's been actually pretty solid. But if they're gonna make this run that
Mhm.
again, it's super early, but if they're gonna make this deep run like you and I think they can, because offensively they've been hitting the cover off the ball.
Yeah.
They're gonna need Manoa. So I mean, what do you think about that? Because I think it might be something mechanically wrong.
I don't know. I know I've heard when I've listened to other like podcasts or seen stuff that his like underlying metrics aren't amazing compared to like how good he pitched. So a lot of people were kind of projecting that he won't have like a whatever his ERA was ridiculous. It's like just a bit over two. Like I think he'll have like around a 3 ERA, just drop off a little bit. But I
So he's
think
been
he's
pitching
still
better than his numbers are looking. Is that kind of what it was saying?
yeah.
Okay. It
Um
just it seems really wild. Like he's not,
yeah.
and the velocity's down, which is so weird for a guy 6'6", 290.
Hmm.
Um,
And he's
to be
young.
sitting about to be sitting about 90 miles per hour kind of worries me a little bit. But I don't know. It's it's very early. Another guy I
Yeah.
have to bring up is right now easily without a doubt the purest hitter in baseball, and he might be the with the shift now. He might be the
Hmm.
closest thing we get to a guy batting 400. Luis Rise is
Hmm.
batting 471, and do you think we finally see a guy over 400?
I don't know about 400, but well, hopefully have some averages that are more than like the winner of like the batting title in each league, like over 320 for once. Like I
Yeah,
feel like he could get 350. That'd be awesome. Just
I
see
think
guys
last year
actually
was like
like
312. Like it was that
yeah, it
down
was
that
not
far.
high at all. Who won
His
it last
OPS
year?
is over 1,000. I
Oh,
don't know who won it
McNeil.
last year.
I think McNeil. He had like
Oh,
320.
still, I mean, I don't think of Jeff McNeil as like a batting champion. Like
I
that's
know.
just. Um, but no, Rise has a OPS almost at 1,200. Hit for the cycle already this year.
Yeah.
He's only
It was the first time in
26.
Marlins history too.
Wow, man. Yeah, he's
In his
batting
12th
third in their
game.
lineup. He's batting third in their lineup most nights. Playing a little second base, playing a little first base. I think he might have played a little bit of third already. I don't know, he's a guy that was in Minnesota, and I feel like we didn't hear about him enough because Minnesota and
Hmm.
Miami's also kind of just like there, even though they're a pretty big city.
Yeah.
Um, but he is raking right now. The very last team, or I guess first team, but the last group here, I have to bring up is the Tampa Bay Rays, which started 13-0. They've
Yeah.
lost two of their last three in Toronto. Um, but I mean, what a wagon of a team. I mean, their pitching's unreal,
Yeah, their
and we kind of
pitching's
knew
so
that.
good. Like
But the
imagine the
lineup's
rate like
raking.
I don't I think we should whoever the Rays pitching coach is, pitching scout is, I think we should give them a buttload of money to come to work for us.
Them or Cleveland, man. Those two organizations
Hmm.
pump out pitching.
And the
Like,
Dodgers, unfortunately.
mhm. Where did Jeffrey Springs come from? I know he's on the IL
I
right now.
never really heard about him
I
until this
didn't,
year.
I didn't either. I didn't either. But Drew Rasmussen's been great. They're missing Glass now, and they've been that good.
I know.
McClanahan,
It's yeah, they're just good.
Wander
And I
Franco's
think they're
finally turning that corner into like the superstar.
who Franco
Uh, yeah, he's looking
just
good.
hopefully doesn't get hurt.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm like looking at a
Uh,
lot of these stats and a lot of the big name players or young players are just either have a high average, a lot of home runs, or a lot of RBIs.
yeah.
It's just all across the board. And then like
But
I was looking at the stolen bases because like the pitch clock and the new rules will incentivize stealing bases, and there's guys with like 8 stolen bases already, which I think is quite a bit so far in 16 games.
it's great, and I love that we're not like being so early in the season. Injuries are bound to happen eventually, but guys that are usually hurt are healthy, which I'm really
Hmm.
liking. Like Luis Roberts been raking.
Yeah,
Buxton had a tremendous start. He slowed off. And that brings me to another thing here. How do you feel about Buxton being a full-time DH? Because you keep him more healthy, I'm sure.
like personally, I don't like it because he's so fun in the outfield, and he does like all he does now is just he's like a power hitter. He doesn't steal bases as much anymore because he's
No,
too scared to get hurt. I say, I don't know. I just say go all out. Just see if you can get at least one season going crazy.
I know. And I'm
I
trying to
know
I
for
would have
like a
to
business standpoint, it makes sense for him just to hit good, but
I feel like you're like you said, you're limiting his assets by doing that. He
hmm
came up as a speedster, one of the fastest players in baseball, and I have to look back at some of his injuries and see what they are, and in comparison to like any type of fielding type of injury, because I don't remember
yeah.
anything happening in the field, um, that was happening. But
I feel like
yeah, I
he
just
ran
I
into a wall one time and it he was
you
down for the
know
count.
I feel like I'm picturing that too. Actually,
Maybe move him to
believe
like
I,
right field or something. I don't know. He's a strong arm.
Tatis is coming back very
All right. What
soon.
do you think about that he's able to play when he's suspended? I say he shouldn't be able to.
So are you talking about like AAA?
Yeah. He's just been playing AAA this whole time and he's been suspended.
Yeah, that is kind of messed up. I haven't thought about it.
Did you
That is
see
kind of messed up.
that this happened a while ago or this guy gave up a home run to him and someone tweeted uh
Yeah.
um oh my god. What was it? He was like, "Oh, this pitcher's going to be telling his kids that he gave up a home run to Fernando Tatis, and he's like said something like, "Oh, you're a cheater," see, or something. I don't
Uh-huh.
remember what it
Yeah.
was.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
very funny.
We haven't been on here to film a normal episode in a while that it's hard to remember all these things that have
I
happened.
know.
Like I'm trying on the spot to even remember things that have happened, but um Yeah, he's gonna be back soon. He's got like 6 homers in 3 games or something like down there.
Yeah,
He's really raking, which
I hope
I
he
agree with you.
I hope he
I don't
sucks when he
like
gets
that.
back. With all due
I don't
respect,
like the fact that he's able to.
I wonder how
Yeah,
if his ringworm has healed fully.
yeah,
Because I know that was he was dealing with that for
I
sure
know.
when he was playing.
I think it's so funny that none of those guys that take steroids just you got caught. I think we've talked about this before. Just you
Hmm.
got caught, fess up. Just like I messed up. Like the Ryan Braun one always stuck in my head where he was
Oh,
like, I just
yeah, I'm just not gonna. I hate him so
it's
much.
kind of he's a guy that kind of just I know he didn't just disappear because he was starting to diminish for sure, but
Hmm.
I thought he had enough in him that somebody would pick him up. And I don't hear about I mean, he hasn't even like actually retired, I don't believe. I think he's just out there right now.
I hope he doesn't get picked up.
I'm pretty sure he's probably
I'm
39
glad
now.
when I don't have to hear about him.
Mm-hmm. Those Brewers, I know I'm getting off track here, but those Brewers back in the day, one of the most annoying teams with like Niger Morgan, Corey Hart.
Hmm.
Prince Fielder was a dog, but I mean, he
I
was
like Prince
annoying.
Fielder, but
The tuck in the jersey after they win, oh,
yeah,
that was annoying as heck, man. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I said, 16 games into the season and a lot of storylines. I think, us sitting, I think we're in last place currently. I
we're
still,
fourth.
the Reds below us.
Uh, yes, but 7-9. I really felt like we would be worse than this.
I know.
I think we're
Feels like
we're
it.
only 4 games back. You know,
Yeah, I know.
we'll turn
It's
it up.
oh yeah, we'll turn it up for sure. And I don't have faith in the Brewers. I really don't. If you look at
Yeah,
that lineup, like their pitching's great, but their lineup is bleh. The Cubs are
I
going to come down
know.
to earth.
I know. I think it was either Mozeliak or I think it was Mozeliak. He said he wants all the starters to get like at least 3 starts per each, and then they're gonna like reevaluate it or something.
Start judging them off that.
I
Yeah,
say trade Yepes or Burleson while they're hot, or we got we just have a lot of people we could trade from.
we have a lot of, especially in the outfield.
Yeah, and then
I
Newbar's
really,
back for like his second game yesterday, hit a home run, so I'm excited to
yeah,
see him
that was good to
get
see.
going.
I it's hard to kind of feel out what they're thinking internally about who's going to be the odd guy out because right now
Mhm.
it's O'Neill and Carlson. But when I look at Burleson and Yepes,
Yeah,
as much as Burleson's been great, and Yepes came up, hit a homer, and then like got sent back
yeah,
down, but they don't do like Burleson's
they're
a very
DHs.
yes, yes. And the thing is with Gorman hitting so well and like
Mhm.
Donovan and Eddie, you can't take those guys out of the field. And I just feel like Burleson and Yepes don't have a spot long
Mhm.
term because they cannot field, man. Like
Yeah,
Burleson's better than Yepes, but Yepes is like brutal out there. We saw in the postseason last
I
year.
know.
So
It's like what team needs a DH and also has a pitcher? Like Miami, the only person who hits on their team is Luis Rise. They have kind of a lot of pitchers. I know I was going to say the Rays, but they're not going to trade any of their good guys while they're setting records.
while they're winning, yeah. I'm still stuck on Chicago, the White Sox. I'm going to be stuck on them all year, and I'm going to be watching them all year because they've obviously disappointed the last couple of years, and I think they're
Mhm.
still under 500 right now as we currently talk. But Dylan Cease is a guy that I have a man crush on, and I would love to see him
I'd trade
come
a
over
lot for
here.
him.
I would, yeah, I would too.
I'd send him
Would you?
Libertor. I'd send him.
Would you throw Gorman in there?
No.
Is he off
Gorman's kind of
limits
off
now?
limits now.
Is he?
He's
Jordan
hitting.
Walker is off limits forever, but I
Gorman's
didn't
like the
know.
left-handed hitter, like the bet. Like ever since Carp like was started not hitting good, we haven't had like a lefty bomber guy in a
Mm,
while, and
it's been a
now
long time.
Gorman's smoking the ball.
Yeah, he
So I'm
looks
very
very,
excited.
very confident, and I
Like I
think
was
people
looking at his
forget.
baseball savant and all his like hard hit percentages. I think I still have it up. His exit velocity is really high, max exit velocity, hard hit percentage. They're all like super high in the 90 percentiles. It makes me
That's
very
nice, man.
excited.
And he's very confident at the plate, which
Hmm.
is really good to
And he's
see.
22.
Um, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I think people forget that he's 22. That
Hmm.
is, he's got a bright future, man. I
Also,
was
when I
kind
realized
of
Jordan Hicks, he doesn't have any options left because they're just using him in low, oh my
leverage.
gosh. Yeah, situations. He's like 25, 26 now. I'm like, you came
I
up in
know,
21. It's been that long.
I know. Yeah, and um, yeah, there's some guys in further episodes here coming up in a few weeks. We need to start talking minor league baseball a little bit because there's some guys that Mason Wynn's like down there, and he's been kind of
Hmm.
whatever so far. But Paul DeYoung actually raking in AAA. Last time
Actually,
I checked, he's been like 290 down
hey,
there,
he'll
and
be a better bench guy than the modder dude.
yes, oh yeah, Motter is one of those Cardinals that we will forget
Yeah.
like 5 years down the line and never think about again. Moving on to the NBA, every series has begun in the playoffs, and I know Zach, you're not a big NBA guy, but
Yep.
you
Didn't watch
are
a
an
single second.
you have admitted you are a playoff guy. Playoffs intensify, correct? It's
It
good.
intensifies. I still really probably will most likely not watch
What
any.
about, will you watch the finals?
Depends who's in it.
Okay. Okay. Well, every game one has started, and I've watched at least a half of every single series so far. So let's do a little rundown of what's happened. 76ers on Saturday beat the Nets 121 to 101. And that's the series that I love the Nets story coming back from, missing Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Mikal
Yeah.
Bridges has been on a otherworldly tear, averaging
Hmm.
28 a game. But I think the 76ers are probably going to just steamroll through that. They have nobody to match up against Embiid.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's just a mismatch nightmare.
Hmm.
Yeah, we don't have to cover too much on that one. Hopefully the Nets can make a series out of it. I'm definitely cheering for Brooklyn there. And would you be cheering for Brooklyn there as well?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Screw
Who likes
Philly.
Philadelphia? No one.
Exactly. The Celtics beat the Hawks 112-99, and that was actually a over 30-point lead the Celtics had at one point. The Celtics, man, with Jalen Brown and Tatum, I don't.
They're very good.
Yes, they are. I was gonna say like the other team really has to be locked in defensively and have those wing presence. Like the Bucks could probably. I'm trying to think of anybody else that can even match up with them in the East. Maybe the Cavs with Mobley and like Allen. Maybe they could create some
I only
problems. But
think the Sixers could just because Embiid's so big. He's way bigger than like Robert Williams.
yes,
And
he's a
that is
complete
the
mismatch
matchup
for me.
I want Celtics 76ers because
Mm.
I want it to get very chippy.
Oh yes,
I
and
want
that
there to be
that
some fights.
those two teams do not like each other for sure. And you add as much as I think he's I don't know how I should say this because this guy's productive still, but PJ Tucker,
Hmm.
he's a guy that just thrives in the in those like gritty, mean moments.
Hmm.
Add him with like Marcus Smart. Oh, dude, that's a
Hmm. Also, the
put that
Celtics,
right
they
there.
have they have Tatum and Brown, and then they also have like the three guards of Derek White, Marcus Smart, and Brogdon, who are all like super good.
Yeah, they have really good depth, man. Grant Williams is a good role piece for them. Um, I picked them to actually win in six over the Hawks. Don't know what was telling me that the Hawks could win a couple. Did not look like they could after game one,
Yeah,
so
it's
we'll
looking like a
see.
sweep. Both of them may sweep them.
This next series is a series that I was probably, besides obviously the Lakers series, probably the series I was most looking forward to watching, which was the Knicks Cavs. I had the Cavs winning in seven. I actually have the
Hmm.
Cavs losing in seven to the Bucks in the next round. I think the Cavs are good enough to get there, but they lose game one at home. And Jalen Brunson, who I know you don't follow NBA a whole lot, but if you were a fan of a team, you'd probably say the Mavericks, correct?
Yeah, them are the Bucks.
Yeah. Jalen Brunson's a guy that left Dallas in free agency, got paid by the Knicks. Everybody thought, wow, they overpaid him so much. Now he's almost
Well,
looking
also
like
his
he's
like dad's on the coaching
underpaid.
staff.
There was that whole little drama, whatever that's tampering or whatever. There was that whole
Hmm.
thing going on there, but he's almost looking underpaid right now because he has just led this Knicks team. Julius Randle's coming back into his own after a drop off last year. RJ Barrett, very inconsistent, but I mean this Knicks team can make some noise, and
Uh-huh.
I would think Donovan Mitchell would be able to weather the storm and find a way to get the Cavs to win this series, but that's
I'll
going to
tell
go
you
in
the
six
key. It's
seven.
not shoot 16 threes. That just makes me want, okay,
That
I
was
want the Knicks to win just because of that. Like,
is
just,
that what Donovan shot?
yeah, he was 14 for 30, but he was 6 for 16 on 3-pointers.
I didn't realize there was that many that he shot.
Darius
Wow.
Garland, who I think is a better 3-point shooter than Mitchell, only shot 4. He was 7 for 13.
Look at the minutes played there. That's how you know it's playoff basketball when it's 44, 44 of the
Yeah.
48 minutes played.
It looks
That's
like
going to be
that
a series to
Donovan
watch.
Mitchell just kind of ball hogged it the whole time, which what he did with the
Yeah.
Jazz, and the Jazz went nowhere.
Yep. Facts there. And then probably the storyline of game ones this weekend. Light the beam. Sacramento
Yes. My boys.
knocks. Sacramento's got to be the team you're cheering for, right?
Oh yeah.
With
They're my
De'Aaron and
go-to. Darren Fox is my favorite 2K player of all time. Uh yeah, Giannis is pretty good.
Giannis is dominant on there, man. But no, Curry had a very good game, normal Curry game. Thompson was pretty off shooting wise. Again, 14 threes shot for him. Um, I don't know. The Warriors are a team. They didn't start Wiggins because they're trying to get him back because he missed quite a bit of time.
Hmm.
Um, the Warriors are so bad on the road, and that worries me. The fact that even though Sacramento and Golden State's it's not that far away from each other anyway,
Yeah.
the fact that Sacramento can literally just say, "Hey, let's win 4 home games and get away with it." They don't have like when's the last time Sacramento not only made the playoffs, like we know how that historic thing, but been like the home team that just, didn't
Yeah.
have to win on the road. It's super cool. And watching that game, watching De'Aaron be unstoppable. And they have that new clutch player award in the NBA. They
Yeah.
began last year.
It's kind of
Um,
dumb, but
I know. I don't know how I feel about it. Damian Lillard won it last year. I think Dame's the clutchest player of all time. That's my
yeah.
maybe hot take. I don't know. But De'Aaron Fox led all of basketball in clutch points this year. Clutch points in the last 2 minutes of fourth quarter overtime. I think he's going to win that award. He was great against the Warriors in game one. And Malik Monk, 32 off the bench. Like, if you're getting that firepower off the bench, remember that take I had earlier this year where I said they kind of run exactly what the Warriors run because of Coach Brown
Yeah.
from that system. It's like the Warriors against mini Warriors, and it's
Yeah.
it's fun to watch. They play game 2 tonight on Monday, and dare I say it, a must win for the Warriors. Is it a must win yet? Can you say that?
No, I don't think so.
Not if you're the Warriors.
I feel like
You
if you're
stay
down
back home.
2-0, then it's a must win because if you lose, then you're kind of done.
Yeah, agreed. Um,
Oh, one
then
thing
on
about the Warriors, did you see Clay Thompson like wants a max contract after this year? You are stupid if you give it to him.
Mhm.
He's been hurt. Like he puts up like 20 a game, but it's not like he's the same.
No, it's he's not even close to the same efficiently, defensively. It's great to have him back, obviously, because that was a awful couple year stretch. But yeah, he
Hmm.
he's not worth the max. You know who's worth? You know who's worth some money? That man's Austin Reeves.
Yeah, no.
That dude and him and Rui Hachimura. As much as I want to talk about Braun and AD, Hachimura had 29 off the bench,
Yeah,
11 of
that
14.
that is not going to happen again.
No, it's a one time thing for sure. But Austin Reeves tearing it up, and I picked the Lakers to win this series, and I think it's looking better now. Did you see the Ja Morant injury?
Yeah, his shooting hand kind of broken.
Yes, yes. His
Get
I
it?
think his hand was injured going in to the series because
Yeah.
he had it wrapped up.
I
And
bet I know why he I bet I know how he heard it. Firearm safety.
there you go. But he's that guy that we've talked about, the Derrick Rose comparison where
Mhm.
his play style, man, it's not
But also, haven't the like Grizzlies had a better record without him at times.
Last year for sure. Remember that whole thing last year? That was a
Yeah.
big story. Is they were better without him. Tyus Jones is the best backup point guard in basketball. So I by no means think this series is over. I'm still going with the Lakers. I feel confident they can get it done. And that's because the Grizzlies are without Steven Adams and Brandon Clark. And those are two
Mm,
bigs. And Anthony Davis throughout the series, I know Jaren Jackson Jr. is probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year. That's a lot to ask of him to stop LeBron and AD
hmm.
down low. If they had Steven Adams, we know how big body Steven Adams is.
I
It
love
would
Steven
create
Adams.
different problems, but I don't know. But Austin Reeves had 14 in the fourth quarter, and the Lakers won by 16. Another big storyline. I hate to say it because it's injury related. Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks. The Heat upset the Bucks by 13, 130 to 117. Giannis out after the first quarter or in the first quarter, fell right on his tailbone, and was out. And then the Tyler Hero incident still blows my mind. Did you happen to see that? What happened to his
I
hand?
saw like he just looked like dove and just hit it on the floor and it somehow
Yeah,
broke.
yeah. It was like a hustle play. He was trying to get on the floor, and I thought maybe just bruised it or something. And then
Hmm.
they actually threw it to the corner to him, and he shot it, and he
And he made
airballed
it.
miserably.
Oh, I thought he made it. I
No, he
thought it.
airballed.
Oh, I think I watched the video and I thought it would in
Oh
the way
no,
it was, like that
he
because it was in the
airballed.
corner and the camera was the other way.
Yeah, and the fact that he shot that basketball with a broken hand is like that's some tough stuff.
Why
So
would you
I don't know.
shoot it if you knew your hand was?
I know. And his face, like he was in agonizing pain, and then he like got all straight faced to shoot it, and then like was back to pain. But no, he's going to be out obviously, and I think Giannis should be able to play through at least like
Giannis,
a
I honestly think if Giannis broke his hand, he'd still play.
he'd find a
Giannis
way.
is built different.
Yeah, he
He's a
is.
tough NBA player, unlike some
He
that
is.
are. I will
He.
say Anthony Davis is kind of a baby, but
You're not wrong, man. Did you see what happened this last game
yeah, the
to him?
stinger. They had to like lead the game for like 2 quarters.
He said, "I can't move my arm," and then the trainer held his arm to the locker room. I was like, "Oh, good lord."
Just walk with
Um,
it hanging at your side.
but the Bucks can't mess around, especially in game two. Going because if they go down 2-0, go back to Miami. Miami's a tough team, experienced team, great coached,
They
really well
can't
coached.
score. I know they put up
Yeah,
130, but I don't know.
I know. That's not sustainable for sure. Clippers Suns was arguably the game of the game ones. The Clippers won 115 to 110, and even though Westbrook shot 3 for 19, had the biggest, I should say, defensive stop at the end on Devin Booker, which won the game for them. Kawhi put on a show, and without Paul George, that kind of surprised me that they got it done. Because I mean,
Hmm.
we everybody knows
Hey,
the Suns are loaded.
this is like the first time in a while Kawhi's been like healthy,
Yes,
and if they beat the Suns, they're winning they're winning it all because Paul George will be back.
he will be back. Yeah, and that's going to help a lot. And the fact that um, Kawhi played 42 minutes, and I don't think he came out in the second half one time, shows he is healthy, and that's scary. And we talked about their depth before. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know how I feel about the Suns, man. I thought honestly they would win in 5 or 6 going into the
KD
series.
almost had a triple double.
He did. He did.
Hot take:
Chris,
let KD needs to shoot more. He shot 15 times. Just shoot
no,
like 30.
I completely agree, and I think he's gonna probably have to as the series moves on. That's another series to watch. And then the last one, which was my hottest take of the first round, I thought the Wolves would push the Nuggets and lose in 6, and it's still possible, I guess. But
Hmm.
game one did not look good. The Nuggets destroyed the Wolves 109 to 80. I thought as much as Rudy Gobert gets hated, I thought
Hmm.
maybe him and like Carl Anthony Towns would provide some kind of big body presence against Jokic.
Yeah.
And honestly, Jokic didn't have a tremendous game offensively, but it
Uh-huh.
was one of those like 12 rebounds, 11 assists night that Jokic does. And
Yeah.
um,
Michael Porter, 18 points.
I think the Wolves have so much internal chemistry problems that, like, if you look at their just roster in
On
itself,
paper.
Anthony Edwards, Towns. I know Gobert's whatever, but I mean they have pieces that Mike Conley, a veteran guy.
Mhm.
There's just you saw the Gobert Kyle Anderson fight, I'm sure, to end the regular season, and then McDaniels broke his hand punching a wall, and there's a lot of internal stuff happening there. But um,
And then did you see our favorite player who played at Kansas last year
oh my
got into a
gosh,
fight
bro,
with,
I
of course,
hate
Anderson.
him.
Both guys I don't like.
And then the clip shows Rudy Gobert sprinting at Kyle Anderson. I think he was pushing him away, but it
Yeah.
looked like he was going at him with the Nuggets players.
I like after whenever Rudy Gobert got in a fight with Kyle Anderson, he like pushed him and then he immediately just like backpedaled,
I
like
know,
out of
I
the
know.
shot.
Oh man. But no, that was all of the game ones, and we can kind of move into our last topic of the day. The NHL playoffs begin tonight, and I guess we can just go. There's a bracket online that you can do, and I guess we can
Yeah, I found
go
it.
off that.
The Stanley
Right
Cup
on.
playoff bracket.
Yeah, let's do it. What's the first matchup? I'm pulling it up now, but what's the first matchup on there?
It has Avalanche and the Kraken.
Okay. You know, obviously Avs are the champs from last year.
Hmm.
And I think they win. I'm gonna say in six though. I think Seattle plays kind of like St. Louis did when we won it, and they just
Yeah.
grind it out. But goaltender wise, they really struggle to stop. And obviously the Avs score at will. So
Don't the Avs have some people hurt though, right?
yeah, Landeskog's out. They're their captain.
Yeah,
Um,
that's who it was.
but obviously they still have McKinnon and McCarr and Rantanen
McCarr.
had 50 goals.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a loaded squad. You going Avs?
Yeah, for sure.
What's this next one? You say the matchups because I
Uh,
got a different one.
Dallas versus Minnesota.
Um, I have Dallas in this one actually. It's two teams I don't like because they're both low key rivals of St. Louis.
Yeah,
But I am going Dallas here
I guess Dallas has more firepower, probably.
for sure.
Oh, for sure.
And,
Yeah, I'm going
yes,
Dallas. I do like Brian Reeves on Minnesota just because he never scores and just fights everyone.
I know he's a dog. Dallas has the better goaltender in this matchup as well. I know Fleury, um, for the Wild, he's gonna do a little platoon goaltender type of situation. He's got the
Hmm.
got the experience. If you look at all the teams,
Is
and
Dallas
and
like they've only allowed 218 goals, which is third best in the
yes,
whole league.
yes, and it's Jake Ottinger in goal for the Dallas Stars, and he's been phenomenal all year, phenomenal last year. Um, if you look at all the teams in the playoffs, though, for the first
Mm.
time in a while, you can honestly say there's only one goalie that has had the experience of success in the playoffs, and that's Vasilevsky for Tampa.
Yeah,
Every other goaltender, there's good goaltenders. Connor Hellebuck for Winnipeg, Fleury for Minnesota, and like
Shesterkin.
yes, Shesterkin's a great one, but none of those guys have had like
Don't the
the
Islanders have a good goalie? I did listen to
Sorokin.
some NHL stuff today, so
Yes,
I don't
sir.
know his
Yeah,
name, but
Ilya Sorokin is his name, and they have Varlamov as well. So those are two guys, but none of these guys have
two
had that
easy
like
names to remember.
exactly. None of these guys have had that playoff pedigree success that
Hmm.
Vasilevsky's had. So something to keep an eye on. You got Gold Knights Jets next.
Yes, I do.
Or what's your next one? This is my upset. This is my crazy upset.
You're going Jets.
I am, and everybody's against the Jets because they kind of just squeaked in. They didn't play well at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But I don't have explanations besides Connor Hellebuck, which I think's the best goalie in the National Hockey League, and I'm rolling with Winnipeg.
Mm. Um, I'm gonna go with Vegas.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. The majority of people are picking Vegas.
I can probably name two
Um,
players on their team. Jack Eichel. Is Petrangelo still on their team or is he hurt?
he is. He is.
Ooh, and Stone. So three.
There you go. No first name,
And
just
he's back. He's a
Stone.
defender. So yeah, that's gonna put him over the top.
Yes, sir. Um, Edmonton and Las Vegas, or Los Angeles, I should say. The Kings.
Edmonton. They're winning. I'm not gonna give it
I have Edmonton
away.
winning too, man. It's a rematch of last year's first round matchup.
That went to
But I'm
seven
also going
games.
Edmonton. Yeah, what that was a phenomenal series, and that starts tonight. Do
I
you want to do
honestly
the whole?
this may be controversial for me, but like I'm low key kind of want to watch some of these playoffs more than the NBA playoffs. And I don't
It's
even know
gonna be
anything about
fun, man.
hockey.
It's playoff hockey is a different breed of sport. It's a fun time. Do you want to do the whole Western Conference and then move on to the East?
No, we have to do first round. I
First
can't.
round, okay.
Yeah.
Um, Bruins. We haven't talked a whole lot of NHL the last couple episodes, but they have had a historic year, the best regular season record of all time. And
Mm,
Pasternak had over, I think he might even had 60 goals. I think he ended up with over
let's
60
see.
goals.
Let's
I
see.
think he
He had
got it at the very
61.
end. That's unbelievable. Yeah, career
Second
year
to,
for him.
McDavid.
Yes, yes. For the Florida Panthers, Matthew Kachuk, supposed to be a St. Louis Blue, just ripped us,
Yeah,
um,
screw you to Chuck.
dragged us through the mud. But he might create maybe a game for Florida in there. But I think Boston wins in 4 or 5.
Yeah, I got Panthers. No, I'm kidding. I got Boston. Also, side note, I'm looking at the stats, and my boy, who I think the Blues should trade for, Quinn Hughes, defender, he had 69 assists, which was fifth. Didn't know
He
that,
was
so shout out to
yes,
him.
yes. He had a phenomenal
I
year
only
for
know him because I
Vancouver.
looked up the fastest players on NHL, and he's like one of the fastest
Oh yeah,
defenders.
a tremendous passer, man. Um, if you guys listen to our past interview with Nick Luciani, we talked about Toronto because he was from Toronto, and it's funny because you put down the question of will the Maple Leafs get out of the first round because I wrote it down too. That's funny that we both thought that, but I have Toronto like I did last year, making it out of the first round against Tampa. It's the same matchup.
um, I kind of wanted to pick Toronto just because, but I also think it'd be really funny if the curse just keeps on going. So I'm gonna pick the Lightning.
There's got to be a point where Tampa comes down to earth finally, right? Like
I
their
think
legs have to
I
be.
don't I think they're not I think if Toronto wins, they could beat Boston, but I think if Tampa wins, they're just gonna be dead.
I agree. I agree, and I think this Toronto Tampa series goes deep. Um,
I
maybe
was
six
listening
or
to
seven games.
like Spit and Chicklets and Ryan Whitney. He says if Toronto loses again in the first round, they need to move out of Toronto to like Hamilton, just the suburbs.
Yeah, that's funny. Um, I mean, the goalie situation is my main worry here. Toronto's all in. They got O'Reilly, they got Achari, they got
Mm,
other pieces to help them. Tampa's got the better goalie. I mean, it's a toss up. Tampa also doesn't have as much depth as they had in
yeah.
past years. They're very more top heavy than they usually are, but I am going Toronto. Carolina Hurricane, everybody's favorite coming into the season, and then the New York Islanders, which play the most boring brand of hockey you will ever watch, but it's so successful during the postseason that I am picking the Islanders to win this matchup.
Yeah, I was thinking of going with the Islanders just because their goalie's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't like Carolina, this is kind of what hurt them last year. They don't really have that like star,
Yeah, they don't have that
like a
go-to guy.
like a McKinnon or McDavid
Mm-hmm.
or Matthews or Kucherov. Boom, let's go. I don't know if the Islanders really have that go-to guy either, but they have a better
Oh,
goalie. So
they do have the better
I'll
goalie.
join you in going Islanders. Why not?
Right on. The New Jersey Devils have been a story this year. Jack Hughes, Quinn Hughes' brother, with 99 points. He was the first overall pick a few years ago. I mean, tremendous year. And the New York Rangers, kind of like Toronto, are
Wait, hold up.
all
So
in.
he's brothers with Quinn Hughes,
They have
and then they
another brother
also
too.
have another brother that's on the Devils who just
Yeah.
got drafted. He's
Yeah.
also really good.
Yes. Luke.
Okay,
Yeah.
did not know that.
Yeah. It's crazy. But the New York Rangers are obviously all in, just like Toronto. They went and got Vladdy Tarasenko from us. They went and got Patrick Kane, Nico Mikkola. So I have the Rangers winning this. I think goaltender um, battle definitely goes to them and an advantage with Shesterkin. So I'm going the Rangers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rangers too, and I think they have more experience too with Tarasenko, Kane.
Exactly.
Like they both won Stanley Cups.
Yep.
I don't
Yep.
know if what's the other dude's name? Panarin. He hasn't done
Panarin.
one.
Yeah. I mean, they have
He's good.
yeah, Zibanejad and Truba and Adam Fox is like the best, arguably the best defender
Mm,
um, in hockey. So I mean, they got a squad, man. If they can put it all together.
yeah.
Are we going back to the West here?
Yeah.
So we had what did you have? I had Avalanche Stars.
I had the same thing.
Okay. I am actually going with the upset here, and I think it comes down to goaltending. I'm going Dallas Stars in seven.
I was gonna do the same thing because the Avalanche are kind of banged up.
It's kind of like Tampa also, how you said if Tampa gets to that second round, they might be just gassed.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing goes for Colorado here. And then I had the Jets and the Oilers, and I do think the Oilers win this one and move on. And then you had
I
Vegas and the
had
Oilers.
Vegas, but I'm picking the Oilers over
We're both
Vegas.
on the McDavid train.
Yeah.
I love it. Back to the East, I had the Bruins and the Maple Leafs, and I think Toronto, as much as it's a cool story that I think they get out of the first round, I think Boston's too loaded, man. And I think Boston wins this one, but I hope Toronto
Yeah, I have
wins.
Tampa Bay, but I'm gonna pick Boston. Just
Yeah,
kind of for the same
that
reason. Just
hurts
loaded
to
in
do it
Tampa
though, doesn't it?
Bay's.
Doesn't it hurt
Tampa
to just
Bay's, I
pick
don't know. If
Boston?
they make it to another Stanley Cup finals, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's unreal. And then I had the Islanders and the Rangers, and then you did as well, correct?
Same. That would be a the I the this like group, if the Islanders win and they play the Rangers, that's gonna be crazy. But also the Devils and the Rangers is gonna be crazy because it's New York versus New Jersey. So they're
Exactly.
like right
Yeah,
next to each other.
matching up against each other. I know I kind of bragged about the Islanders and how this is a kind of their play, like they kind of play playoff
Hmm.
hockey. I do think the Rangers would win this in like five, though. I think they're too
Yeah.
loaded, and I mean, obviously, you and I agree. We gave the goaltender advantage um, to the Islanders over Carolina, and that's why we kind of picked them. I'm talking a lot about goaltender advantage. It really does mean a lot, though, this time of year. If you have a
Hmm.
guy that just shuts people down, it's kind of like pitching in the postseason for
Yeah.
baseball. Got guys that just mow people down. So I'm going Rangers to the conference final.
Yeah, I'll go Rangers too.
And then our conference finals in the West, we have the Stars and Oilers both.
Yeah.
We agreed
we
on
have
that.
we have exactly the same everywhere.
And we are going to continue to agree. And I have Edmund going to the final.
Yep.
Edmonton.
Me too.
Got to. It's their year, man. I thought about
Yeah.
this on the way here. How Connor McDavid, I don't just want to say him because that's a loaded squad over there, but they have low key just slowly been like building up, right? They made the
Hmm.
playoffs after a long stretch of not, and then they made, they beat whoever, I forgot who they beat last year, but they made it to the conference final
They beat the
last year. And
Kings
yes, that's right. The
and then they
Kings,
beat someone else. No,
there's
wait,
somebody
no, they
else in
didn't.
between. I thought there was somebody in between, right?
Oh yeah,
I
because they
thought
made it
they
to the
made,
conference finals.
yeah, against Colorado. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I'd have to think about it for a second.
Calgary. They beat
Oh, I
Calgary.
was gonna say,
Battle of
yeah, it's
Alberta.
Calgary.
Duh.
Exactly. Yeah. Um, so I mean, they beat LA, they beat Calgary last year, like slowly building up to this moment. And I think we finally see that moment. And I think Connor McDavid's so hungry, man. And I think
Mhm.
Drysaitel and Nugent Hopkins, they had three guys over 100 points, which is unbelievable.
And then they got like a defender and a trade, right? He's been really
Yes,
good.
they did. Yeah, and it all comes down to goaltending. Obviously, can Skinner be locked down for them? They relied a lot on Jack Campbell. That's what they were hoping to get, and he's
Uh-huh.
kind of fallen to their backup from Toronto. So we both have Edmonton in the final, and then the Bruins and the Rangers at the end of the season. They kind of had this little scuffle whenever they played each other. New York, Boston. It's bound to happen.
Hmm.
I would be cheering for New York in this scenario, actually, but I am going to go Boston to the final.
I'm gonna go New York just to be
Okay, we
different.
we finally disagreed.
Yeah. I was considering going Boston, best team versus best player, but
Hmm.
it'd be hilarious. Boston, they win the most games like ever and then lose in the, I guess, third round. Yeah.
Conference
So
final, yeah.
going Rangers.
So
I don't know.
I
I just think
have,
their experience can
I
propel
agree,
them.
I agree, and I have, like you said, which I love how you said that, best team versus the best player in the world,
Mhm.
and for this scenario only,
And we all know that if you have one good player, you're for sure going to win everything.
yeah, for this scenario, yes, for me, I have the best player in the world, arguably. I'm not going to get into this conversation, but you can make a case best player ever. I know it's hard with eras and whatever, but I think he finally gets that much needed cup to his name. Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers win it all.
Yeah, that's who I was going to pick too. So now they're probably going to lose first round.
I saw also on the way here, I was listening, a lot of people are having the Kings beat them in the first round as a
Yeah, I
crazy upset.
like Whitney, um, and on Spit and Chicklets, he was saying whoever wins that round, he thinks going is going to make it to the finals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
So
I mean, you and I could look really bad at the very
yeah.
beginning. We'll see. Well, we will see. It's
Well, at
sad
least
not
I
having the
don't know
Blues
as
in
much
it.
hockey as you do. So
Well, I mean, it's sad not having the St. Louis Blues in it this year. I think we're sitting in the
mhm,
11th spot. Or I think it's the 11th spot
I'll take
going
it.
into the draft. Obviously, the lottery will change a little bit. We could be drafting higher. We could be drafting lower. We're in a weird direction because we really played hard our hearts out at the end of the year and kind of played
Hmm.
pretty dang good hockey. At one point, we were like 6-2 in an 8 game stretch. But we definitely have some question marks moving forward in this offseason. We have 3 first round picks. Do we re-sign O'Reilly? I think it depends on what Toronto does in the postseason. Um, but it's playoff hockey, man. It's going to be a lot of
Hmm.
fun. Like you said, I remember last year you started to get it fired up for it again.
Yeah,
So it's that time of year
I
again.
watched all the
We
Blues
also,
games at least.
yeah, and we also probably sooner than later in the next few weeks need to start covering some MLS because City here
Mm,
is 6-2, and I've been following that pretty hard, and I think we need to show City some love since we're obviously
yeah.
St. Louis focused. But anything else from you, Zach, before we wrap it up here?
Nope.
It was good to be back. We have another interview lined up for Friday this week, so hopefully we will get that out for you guys. I know last week we missed it. We had Viviani, then we had a week off, and then we had Nick. Um, but we should have another soccer athlete this week. If she's unavailable, then we have probably a baseball athlete. So we got a bunch of athletes still
Yeah.
lined up. So it'll be some sort of some sort of athlete this week. But everybody have a great week, and we will see you on Friday.
See you guys.